There is an island in the Indian Ocean that you are not allowed to visit. Not warned against, forbidden by law. Because the last man who went there to stay never came back. We like to think the whole world is open to us. It is not. Scattered across the map are places that are sealed shut by governments, by science, and by death itself. Tonight, we are counting down 7 real places you are never allowed to go, ending with the island that is defended by the people who live on it. Number 7. On a frozen island halfway between Norway and the North Pole, a concrete blade juts out of a mountainside. Behind its door, a tunnel runs more than 100 meters into the rock, down to 3 sealed chambers, chilled to -18 degrees. This is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, the backup drive for human civilization. Inside sleep more than 1 million seed samples from almost every country on Earth: rice, wheat, beans, the crops we would need to start over after a global catastrophe. And that is exactly why you cannot enter. No tourists, no journalists wandering the halls. Even most of the scientists whose seeds are stored inside will never see the vault room. The door opens only a few times a year for deposits, and in 2017, the vault built to survive Doomsday met an enemy early. The permafrost around its entrance began to melt, and water breached the tunnel. The seeds survived. The warning was noted. In 1940, in wartime France, 4 teenagers followed their dog to a hole in the ground and dropped into a cathedral of Ice Age art. Horses, bulls and stags swarmed across the ceiling, painted 17,000 years ago, 12,000 years before the first pyramid. Lascaux became the most famous cave on Earth. Crowds poured in, more than 1,000 people a day. And then the paintings began to die. The carbon dioxide in human breath, the humidity of human bodies, fed invisible invaders. Algae crept across the walls, then crystals, then black mold. Art that had survived 170 centuries was being destroyed in 20 years by being looked at. So, in 1963, France did something extraordinary. It sealed the cave. Today, tourists visit a millimeter-perfect replica next door. The real Lascaux is opened only rarely, to a handful of specialists, for minutes at a time, because the most dangerous thing you can do to it is breathe. 20 miles off the coast of Brazil is a green, sunlit island that looks like paradise. The Brazilian Navy will stop your boat before you reach it. Ilha da Queimada Grande, Snake Island, is the only home of the golden lancehead, one of the deadliest vipers in the world. Cut off from the mainland when sea levels rose thousands of years ago, the snakes had no prey but birds, so their venom evolved to kill almost instantly before a bird could fly away. The island is just over 40 hectares. The snakes number in the thousands. Legend says the last people to live there, a lighthouse keeper and his family, were found dead after snakes came through a window, and the story goes that the lighthouse has run itself ever since. Landing is illegal without government approval. The handful of scientists who do go walk in thick boots, counting every step. Paradise, defended by venom. A few minutes by boat from the golden palaces of Venice lies a small island the water taxis will not take you to, Poveglia. For centuries, when plague ships arrived in the lagoon, this is where the infected were sent. The sick, the dying, and the merely suspected were left on its shore. Many never left. No one knows how many bodies rest in its soil. Estimates run into the tens of thousands. The locals will tell you the earth itself is heavy with them. And in 1922, on top of that ground, Italy opened a mental asylum. Patients reportedly begged to be moved. It closed in 1968, and since then the island has simply been abandoned. its hospital rotting behind the trees. Today, Poveglia is officially off-limits without special permission. Venice sits in plain sight of it and leaves it alone. In the Nevada desert, there is a patch of land that for most of your life did not officially exist. Area 51. For decades, the United States government refused to admit the base was real, while commercial pilots were quietly ordered around a box of forbidden airspace, and signs at the perimeter warned that deadly force was authorized. Only in 2013 did the CIA finally acknowledge it, a real installation at Groom Lake, born in the 1950s to test the U-2 spy plane, then a parade of aircraft so strange that they seeded a half-century of UFO sightings. That is the joke of Area 51. The conspiracy theories gave cover to the truth. It stays forbidden not because of what is hidden from the past, but because whatever is being tested there right now is still secret. Cross the line, and you will find the guards were already watching you, from the hills, long before you reached it. Beneath the ruins of Chernobyl's Reactor 4, down a corridor no human should walk, there is a room containing a mass that should not exist. They call it the Elephant's Foot, a hardened lava of melted nuclear fuel, sand and steel that burned its way down through the building in 1986. In the first months after the disaster, standing beside it for just a few minutes delivered a lethal dose of radiation. It could not be approached. The first pictures of it were taken from around corners with cameras on wheels. The scientists who later studied it worked in seconds, not minutes. Decades of decay have weakened it, but the chamber remains one of the most dangerous rooms on the planet, now buried under a vast steel shield designed to last a century, a shield that was itself wounded by war in 2025. It sits in the dark, still warm, in a room with no line on any tour. And number 1. In the Bay of Bengal lies North Sentinel Island, home to the Sentinelese, perhaps the most isolated people on Earth. Maybe 50 of them, maybe 200, no one knows, because no one can get close enough to count. They have lived on that island for thousands of years, and they have made one thing absolutely clear: they want no visitors. After the 2004 tsunami, a helicopter sent to check on them was met with arrows. In 2006, 2 fishermen who drifted ashore were killed, and in 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow paid local fishermen to sneak him onto the beach. He did not come back. India does not punish the Sentinelese, it protects them. By law, no one may approach within miles of the island, partly because our diseases could wipe them out. It is the one place on Earth that is forbidden in both directions. You cannot go in, and they will not come out. 7 locked doors on a planet we call open. Some are sealed to protect what is inside: seeds, paintings, secrets. And one is sealed to protect the people inside from us. So tell me in the comments, if the law vanished for one day, which of these would you visit? And which one should stay closed forever? Subscribe and stay curious. Some doors in the vault only open from the other side.